So I remember hearing this word that I couldn't even spell called the Pygmalion Principle. And this gentleman said that these teachers, there was a study done in a school, and there was these 5 kids, and they told the teachers these 5 kids were the smartest kids in the class when they were really just average kids. A year later, they tested the scores, and those 5 kids that they told the teachers were the smartest kids in the class actually ranked higher in the classes. Why? Because they saw them as somebody that was intelligent and they had high expectations for that person. So they treated them that way. They instilled that belief, like, I know you're going to do well. I know you can do this. And those students, they were just average, fed off the belief system that somebody else gave to them and overcame and improved and made progress at a different level than everybody else. Why? What does that tell you? That the power of belief can transform somebody else's life. So the Pygmalion Principle is the concept that if you believe and you see somebody in a certain light and you edify that and you encourage that eventually that person can change their own belief system, their own blueprint, how they see themselves, and that they can align to become that person. So who can you give an identity to? Who can you encourage today? Who can you praise? Who can you recognize? Who could you pour belief into today? Somebody did that for me. I remember when I got started in insurance, Patrick says, hey, George's going to do something. He's going to win in life. I could tell there's something in his eyes. Just that comment of there's something in his eyes made me say, man, there's something inside of me that this guy sees. It's special, right? And I always thought, like, dude, I think I'm supposed to do something great. But sometimes somebody else's belief can help ignite that, right? There's a bunch of gasoline, but it just needs that spark, that fire, and now that person becomes somebody new. Has anybody ever done that for you? Has anybody ever given you an identity, right, that you want to align with because they matter to you, their opinion matters, right? And there's this obviously I'm not talking about people that are not good influences in your life, okay? Because there are people that can give you the wrong identity too. I'm not talking about that. Meaning like, hey, you can't do it, and you hold them to such a high esteem that you believe them, right? People that are positive, that are good people, that want the best for you. If there's somebody that's ahead of you in life and they care about you and they know you, right? And they give you an identity. There's something about us that says, man, I want to make that person proud. Man, I want to come through for that person. Man, I want to prove them right. They see something in me. I want to prove them right. So if you're the person that somebody else believes in, right? Maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe that person does see something in you that you don't see in yourself. Maybe you know your history and you know your past and they don't. So you see yourself based on what, all your mistakes and failures, but they see you based on your potential. Maybe you need to borrow somebody else's opinion of you, right? At the same time, they say the highest form of maturity is being independent of other people's opinions of you, the wrong people's opinions, right? Those that don't believe, those that don't want to see you win, those that don't know you, those that aren't giving you something that's going to add value to your life, but for the right person, right? Now, on the flip side of it, if you're the leader and you have people around you, what identity are you giving to them? What opportunity do you have to be able to give them a higher identity, to be able to praise them, to be able to recognize them, to be able to give them a picture of who you can see them becoming or what role they can play or a vision of what they can accomplish or a goal that you believe that they can hit? And it's our job to create that for people. There's where they are. There's where you think that they can be in that space. What's in between that space? Sometimes belief fills that space. And it's your belief in somebody else that can transform their life. So who do you see your kids becoming? Who do you see your wife becoming? I remember this gentleman said this to me. He says, who your wife becomes is based on who you saw her that she can become, who she could be, right? So what identity as a husband do you give to your wife? What identity as a father do you give to your children? What identity as a leader do you give to the people that you mentor? What identity? How are you raising up everybody's identity? It's important that you also do this to yourself, right? The Pygmalion Principle, that you believe that these things are possible. And when you look at people and you say, why does that person believe in themselves? We did a whole video on how to increase your confidence and your belief in yourself, and it was through keeping your word. And if you keep your word to yourself, you start believing that you're capable of accomplishing the things you say you're going to do. So give yourself a higher expectation. Give everybody, what if you painted a picture for everybody around you, who they could become, what their next looks like, and you reinforce that? Guess what happens? Your entire organization, your entire team, your entire family raises up and becomes that next version. And then that version has the next version as well. So the Pygmalion Principle is a concept, to close, the Pygmalion Principle is a concept that if you believe in somebody and you give them a higher identity, they will change their own behavior and their own beliefs to become that greater version. Let's go do that for other people and raise everybody's abilities together. Take care, guys. We'll see you on the next video.